Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
Hi, so glad to know that you're here. I am so excited about my guest today. I have Johnny E. Osby Jr. He is a poet, an author, a music producer, an actor, and he's going to share with us his story. And we're going to just talk about things in general, what life is all about. And I'm so happy that he's here today. And so let me bring him on up. Hello, hello, hello. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you had the time to come on my show today.
I
And
definitely appreciate it.
I want you to kind of share with us a little bit about you.
Okay.
Tell us your story. And before you do, though, I'm gonna play my beginning again
Okay.
to maybe pull some more folks in. Okay, so
All right.
hold on a minute.
The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
Yes. So we got that out the way.
Okay. Cool.
And let's just kind of talk about Johnny Osby. So I'm going to give you the floor and just kind of share your story and tell us who you are and how did you get to this point that you're at.
Wow. That's a broad question. Where you want me to start?
Start from I know you're from Ohio, from
Right.
the
Right.
Akron area. You went to Central,
Okay.
um, and just talk about your experiences from youth on up. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm going to, and then we'll talk more about some other experiences that you've had. Okay,
Okay.
all
That's
right,
fine. Well,
awesome.
well, pretty much I grew up on the west side of Akron on City View. Um, I had a great childhood coming up. My mom did everything she could for me and whatnot. So, and then I ended up playing. Actually, I went to Ohio State for a Young Scholars Program. That was very influential in my life as well. We would go every summer to Ohio State, and we would meet everybody from all over Ohio. And then I end up going to Central Howard, of course, being a prestigious athlete there, and then end up going to college in Rochester, New York. And I mean, writing just always been a part of my my whole well being growing up, and it just manifested into and blossomed to me writing and to me creating music and things of that nature and going into poetry and the whole nine, and just having children as well that end up being the same thing, creatives and poetry, music. So it just it's a blessing, because I overcame a lot of obstacles, that we all come across, and I'm still here 45, man, and it feels good.
That's wonderful. Can you share a little bit about the obstacles you've had to face?
I mean, sadly to say, I would say typical obstacles that the average black man goes through. Growing up, father absent, and then having to feel your way. But luckily, I did have a great stepdad that stepped up and took a village, and I had good coaches and a lot of mentors, and like I said, I was kind of I ain't gonna say kind, I was touched by God because to me, having an academic scholarship in the sixth grade was amazing, and then grow up and then end up having athletic scholarships as well. So it was just that's
That
not
is
that's not your normal.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Grady says, "Hey family. Hey Grady, how you doing?
Hey, what's
Glad to see you here."
going on?
And so you said, and so I contribute you having these mentors and this kind of support. I contribute that to your mom, making sure that even though there may not have been a man in the house, she made sure that you had positive male influences around you.
Of course, but like I said, my stepdad, he
And
was
your
there. So
stepdad,
yeah,
yeah,
so I definitely had a male image. So that was, that was always something to see. So yeah, he taught me a lot.
that's awesome. And you talked about being involved with your children and music and those kinds of things. That's wonderful. And so, as a dad, kind of talk to us a little bit about being a dad.
Being a dad is to me is like the highest honor God can give you because He gives you control and responsibility of another human being. So that I always wanted my one of my dreams was to be a better dad than my father was, and that was it was easy to do, but then I end up being a great father, and it was I mean it's really fulfilling. I mean I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is wonderful. That is so awesome. Now, tell us about your book.
The book is pretty much explains everything in a nutshell. I guess what I just explained, but in more detail, if you will, and more creatively. But it basically explains my obstacles. It's like an autobiography in poetry form. So
Okay, awesome. Well, you want to share some of that awesome work that you have? I'd love to hear it.
let's see what I got here.
And
Uh,
hold up your book so that the audience can see it. Yes. The Windows of My Soul.
yeah,
Okay. And it can be gotten on Amazon.
yes, correct. Amazon or Kindle.
Oh,
Pretty much any bookstore you prefer, but you know how Amazon is just controlling the game right now. So
yes. 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 Well, I want to say hi to Lenora. Thank you for showing up and watching this show. Thank you, Felicia. Hi, fam. So glad you're here. Thank you. And we're getting ready to hear some poetry from Johnny Osby, and it's from his book.
yeah,
So have at it.
let's see what we got here. This one is called The Power. Uh, Loneliness is the heart whispering for love. Love is the long distance carrier for God, which connects God to your love and love to your loved one. Mistakes are forgiven and erased by love. To love is God. God is love. God is the personality of love. Love is undefined by those who call it an action. You can't act love. You can only feel love. Love's come when you least expect it. Love hides when you neglect it. True love never leaves. Every time you think of true love, it's hard to breathe. To breathe is love. To find true love, one must love God, love themselves and their situation before they can truly love someone else.
That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about love.
yeah,
What the world needs now is
it's the,
love.
yeah, it's the power, man.
It is the power. It is the power. And let's see. Look, look your look today. Great makeup. And oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Felicia. I appreciate that. Okay, so Johnny, let's talk about love because love is the key. It is the key. And
Right.
so in the midst of your travels and in the midst of just living your life, how do you demonstrate love, and how would you encourage others, especially from a societal perspective? I know that might be a global kind of thing to ask, but in terms of what are you doing to demonstrate love and to show love and to encourage love in our society?
Well, I guess the first thing I would say, just being human first. I always approach everything and I looked at somebody's care. Oh, thank you. I
Yes.
always approach people like humans, and then until they show me otherwise. But even then, I don't let their emotions get the best of you to whereas it makes you bitter, or to whereas you just don't want to do the love thing. I mean, love is everything. I
It
mean,
is.
if you don't have no, I mean, the love got to be there. Like for me to write, that was love. For me to play basketball, it was love. That's was the things that kept me focused and not in trouble. So you got to have passion and love about things. And then I always wanted to make sure I make my mom proud. So
Yes.
I was that. That's nothing but love because I wouldn't be
Yes.
there. So yeah, man, that's just what it is. I mean, because if looking in that perspective, it makes life look a lot different from a
Yeah.
perspective of somebody that look at it from a whole different window.
Yes. And, love is the key. It is the key. And people don't understand that love outpowers and overpowers hate.
Oh,
And I know being a black man, one of the main things that we've had to deal with is how law enforcement treats our black men. And I know before the show started, you kind of shared with me that you had some issues with the police. So I'd like for you to kind of share with us what your experience has been as a black man in this country and dealing with the police. And you know what? There's not one black guy that I'm aware of that's never been stopped or dealt with the police. So
yeah.
share with us a little bit about your experience.
Well, just one day I was I was leaving my children's house, and then I was so caught in a bad neighborhood, and then they happened to pull me over, handcuff me, put me behind the car, search my car. And then I guess they found a little, some little rocks on the floor that was from the gravel, but they took the thing and tried to check it and whatnot. But ultimately, they letting me go. But it was one of those things where I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it home today. So,
Oh my goodness.
but
Oh my goodness.
but luckily, I just said, patiently, and it's like, well, and that's all I can do. I can't, I couldn't sit there and live in fear. So I was just like, well, you know, hopefully God got His hands on me this time. So.
Yes, and
I,
being a father, how have you approached that situation, or how have you talked to your children about the police?
It's funny because I really don't talk to them about the police all like that, but I also tell them how to just basically, a lot. If you just doing the right things, hopefully you don't happen to, come around, and long as you, because it's kind of hard because I don't want to scare them to the point and but at the same time you do have to make them aware. And
Yes.
so I don't know. It's kind of a touchy situation because I don't want to be like, all police are bad, but then it's like, well, I know we're going to get pulled over at one point in time. So I'd be like, I tell my son, don't drive with more than three people in the car because they look for that. They profile your car sometime if it's not, newer. So it's just little things and just hoping they, to make the right decisions. But sometimes you can make the right decision and still end up behind the police car. So.
Yes, yes. Now, was that the only time that you had ever been stopped?
No, it's another time. It was a traffic. Again, I was profiled. My car was. It was when I was younger though. Car was just beat up. I'm riding in Fairline, and got pulled over. License, registration.
Yes.
Yeah, I can only remember like three times in my life that I got pulled over though. I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Yes. Well, it is good that you haven't been stopped that many times.
yeah.
That's a great thing. Now let's hear what some of our guests are saying. Love is security, happiness, encouragement, nurturing, hope, faith, unconditional. But most of all, love is God. Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Love is God. And when we have God in our hearts and within us, then we can't help but show love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't help but show love. And so let's hear another one of your poems. We're going to showcase your poetry today. I always share poetry in my show. It's very much a part
Oh
of
yeah.
this show. It is. And
Oh, okay.
so you are my guest poet today. So let's hear something else.
Let me see what we got here. Okay, this one is called grateful celebration. Life is beautiful every second, every minute, every hour, every day. every week, every year. All lives are beautiful. To see what each life brings, another queen, another king, to see which ancestors have reintroduced themselves. Life sings like a million angels, the soundtrack to your soul produced by your spirit, leaving melodies to live by. Hear it, recite it with all your might. A grateful celebration.
Beautiful. Now, what prompted you to write that particular poem?
Man, when you come when it's writing, sometimes you don't know. Like sometimes I write and it don't even feel like it's me writing it. So I still learn from my poetry. So I honestly can't say, but I mean I love life. So I've always been a lover of life. So it's you gotta celebrate it, it's hard sometimes to celebrate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that poem because you're celebrating us.
Yeah,
We're celebrating us. And that's what all of us need to do is celebrate who we are, where we came from.
yeah,
And I think about how our society has tried, really tried hard to keep us down and to make us feel like we're less than, when in actuality, we come from kings and queens. You know, we are we are an amazing people. We
yeah,
are resilient. We know how to bounce back from adversity, even with all the things that have happened in this country to us. We still show love.
yeah,
We still show compassion.
yeah,
We still show forgiveness.
yeah,
And that's because we're kings and queens. And we stand on the backs of our ancestors. We stand on the backs of those that have gone before us. We stand on the backs of those that have fought for our freedom.
yeah.
And so that poem just brought that out of me. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see what some other guests are saying. Right, Queen Felicia. Miss you on. Okay. Bye. Okay. 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 And Yvette, thank you also. She also said a poem is love, is happiness, and God is loved. Absolutely. And thank you for saying that you love my makeup. I must have did something right today.
Uh-oh.
um, okay. So let me hear another one.
Uh-oh. Let me see what I got here. Uh let's go with this. Miscommunication. Oh no, 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 let's not do that. I'm sorry.
Well, we might want to come back to that because communications is key, and that might be a good thing to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Just trying to find something not too long but not too short.
We got an hour.
Oh wow.
Just thought I'd tell you that.
All right, let's go. Let's go with blind faith.
Okay.
Blind faith is walking in a direction unaware where it's leading. However, somehow knowing when you get there. Blind faith is doing something now and finding out 5 years later what you were doing it for. Blind faith is two people falling in love, getting married, and growing old together. Blind faith is taking a risk or a chance, although it's really not a risk or a chance because your life plans are in God's hands. Blind faith.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'd like for you to share an experience where you went by faith, blind faith. Share a couple of those experiences because I got some myself, but
Wow, yeah. I mean, I would say that's pretty much my whole life. I mean, I lead by blind faith. I mean, wherever my heart and my spirit, once my heart and my spirit and my mind combines, it's like it can't go wrong. But I don't know where it's going to lead, but I know it's going to lead to a beautiful place. So,
give me an example.
let's see. Example would be, I mean, just basketball, for example. I always said I mean, I wanted to play in college ball. So I didn't have really so many mentors in my life doing it, so that's just something I wanted to do. And I ended up playing collegiate ball, uh, writing books. Nobody taught me how to write books, but I write books, and I'm 20 years an entrepreneur. So when everybody was telling me get a real job, get a real job, get a real job, 20 years later, here I am looking to retire. So that's blind faith.
Yes. Tell me about your entrepreneur, what you're doing as an entrepreneur. And I mean, I know you're a music producer.
Yeah, yeah. But my 9 to 5 entrepreneurship is I sell all natural products.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've
Tell
been
us
doing
about that.
well, it's fine fragrances. We do all natural essential oils, shea butters, lotions, fragrances, and whatnot. I've been doing that for about ever since about 2000. Actually, before that, probably about 1999.
And where can people get your products?
You go to the website findfragrancesonline.com. And
Okay, let me put that in the chat. And that's awesome. So fine. Okay, I will get that on here. In the
okay,
meantime, I want to, when you talk about blind faith, I'm telling you, oh my God, so many times, like coming to Georgia, that was blind faith,
yeah,
because my son wanted to come here. And let's see what Felicia says about blind faith. She says, blind faith, so true, walking in without doubt, regardless of any situations, my faith stands strong. When we know that we belong to God, when
right,
we know that he is the light unto our feet and a lamp unto our path. When we know that he said, trust me in all things. And he said, in all thy ways, acknowledge him and he would direct your path. I stand on that. And it's amazing because coming to Georgia, first of all, it was never on my radar.
okay.
Son wanted to come here. He's not here. He's back in Ohio, but
Oh wow,
he was the vehicle that got me here. And the Lord showed me through his word several times that this is where I am to be.
mm,
God also has a sense of humor because after being here and really struggling with some things, I remember sitting and asking, like, God, you said for me to be here. What? I mean, why aren't things happening? And I
right.
heard him say, it was like, look, I told you, this is where you're supposed to be. But do what you want to do. I heard that so clear. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Blind faith, I'm going to stay. And I'm telling you, I'm so glad that I'm here. I thank God for being here.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
um, and so just trusting him and knowing that he's in control no matter what we go through. We go through things for a reason, and we go through things to learn lessons. We go through things to get strength. We go through things to be encouraged and to be an encouragement to other people. All right,
Amen.
it's time for another poem.
Uh-oh.
Just right out of the blue, right?
Right. Let's go with let's say the projects. The projects consist of stockbrokers, real estate developers, business moguls, authors, artists, poets, politicians, professional athletes, community icons, inventors, musicians, and philosophers. The projects make some of us dependent, unproductive, unmotivated, lifetime consumers, lifetime laborers, alcoholic, drug addicts, drug dealers, restricted prisoners. Live in the projects, don't become a project.
Oh man, that is awesome. Yeah, let's talk about that because it can be a mentality. Now I am going to share this poem since you're talking about the projects. I I had gone over to someone's house and I'm thinking, oh my God. So I wrote this.
Okay.
Mother's Day, first of the month. Take that money, get drugs, get drunk. Can't wait for the mailman to bring the check so I can go get my head wrecked. Children crying, people dying, and here we are lying in the gutters of our minds, wasting our lives, wasting our time. can't find anything to do but sit around and act confused. But all is not lost. Haven't we paid more than the cost? Today we must decide our fate. Tomorrow, maybe forever. Too late, too late. Don't let it be said, too late. And
Wow.
that's talking about a project mentality. But like
Right.
you said, so much, so much has come from the projects. It's not poverty is as much a state of mind as it is a condition. And just because we may be poor does not mean that we are poor in spirit, that we are poor in talent, that we are poor in abilities, that we are poor in those God given gifts that
Right.
He's given us. And so just because I didn't grow up in the projects, but that doesn't mean anything either because it's not about where you live or how you were raised. It's about understanding that I may not have any control over how I'm raised, but I do have control. Once I reach the age of accountability, I do have control of what I choose and how I choose to live and accept responsibility for my actions and my behaviors.
Exactly.
And so that poem just brought some stuff out too.
Hey, I'm glad to be bringing it out.
Oh my goodness. Okay. It's time for another.
Uh-oh.
Wait, let's hear. I just said what? Okay. Felicia says, wow. I moved to Georgia also in blind faith. I had a vision back in early August 2000 during my family reunion when we came to Georgia and ended up relocating here 2 months later. Isn't that crazy? But I knew I was supposed to be here. And 20 years later, I'm still walking in blind faith. I'm telling you, trust God. That's what you got to do. Trust Him.
Yeah, you gotta trust it. I mean, it's the best way. It's the best
Absolutely.
way.
Absolutely. Okay, let's hear something else.
All right, let's see what I got here. Okay, this is called it's too long.
Why do you say it's too long?
But I don't know. Sometimes I'm not too much of a slam poet, so sometimes I get tired of hearing my own voice.
But hey, people haven't heard your voice. And if it's something that's going to help impact a life, please share. It sounds like everything that you've written. I want the book. I got to get the book. It sounds like everything that you've written has a message in it.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I try to drive up some type of message.
Absolutely. And Yvette says blessings come from sight, not from hearing. You're right. You got to be able to see God working in your life. You got to be able to see that
Yeah, you got to be able to acknowledge it.
and acknowledge it. Absolutely. Thank you, Yvette.
Let's see. This one is called the number 8 sideways.
Oh, wait a minute. Before you do that, someone
Okay.
is that Felicia says, do you have poems about money? Do you have anything about money?
I don't know. Let me see about money. I got one called Dead Broke Dad.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's see. Where is that? 27. Dead Broke Dad. I would rather sacrifice 18 years to make sure you live the rest of your years without tears and fears. I know I don't call, write, or visit like I'm supposed to, but yet I'm always close to you. I haven't spent much time with you, however, I put the rhyme in you. Hopefully, the life and legacy I leave exceeds the boundaries that life has laid on me. How can I teach you if I don't know, excuse me, if I don't know knowledge of self? Sadly, it had to be simultaneously and cost me my health, a small price to pay for your future. As a matter of fact, you are the future, so I invest wisely to understand that wealth is money, knowledge, and wisdom, to bear fruits of labor, to share with you and your children and your children's children. I'm looking at the forest and not the trees, so please forgive me.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. So tell me, as you were writing that, that is beautiful. Absolutely. And Felicia's a poet also. And she says,
Oh, okay,
nice,
cool. Thank you,
nice,
Felicia.
nice.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes. Diane, hi, I'm glad to see you. And so, okay. So in essence, you're talking about, in this poem, you're talking about it's more important. Lenora, she says, awesome, love the poetry, Diane says, okay. And then
Thank you.
Lenora says, awesome poetry. Yes, he's awesome. Go
Thank
buy his
you.
book. Go get his book. He's got some awesome stuff in there. Awesome. So when you're talking about being a broke dad, in essence, what you're saying is, I'm broke because I'm trying to leave a legacy. I'm broke because I am sacrificing myself. I'm sacrificing having things for myself so that I can have things for you and your future.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
That's
And
awesome.
then, growing up, sometimes in this entrepreneur journey, it's times where I mean, broke. You don't know where the money is coming from because you're learning. And, it's times where, you have the mother of your children, on your back about things. But she don't, they don't see the vision. You got to understand nobody sees your vision like you see the vision.
That's right. But don't let anyone discourage you
Of
from
course.
your vision.
Right. So you
You
got to keep,
know,
got to keep pressing on. And then after a
right.
while, then they begin to see, they start seeing it. They start seeing it and they be like, oh, wow. And, here it is.
Yes, yes. And I want to put your company information. So can you tell me that again?
Hold on. I'll put it in the chat over here.
Okay, great. Perfect. That'll work. And so those of you that are listening, this young man has some powerful, powerful poetry that will uplift, encourage, motivate, inspire, and educate. So I want you to go to Amazon.com and get his book. Yes, get his book and go to his website and pick up some perfume. As a matter of fact, I need to check out your colognes. Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat so that you can check it out. Okay, and again, this is Johnny Osby
Uh,
Jr.
I,
Osby. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Why did I
like,
say Osby?
well, they always say that. It's like Cosby without the C.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Johnny Osby,
yeah.
and he is an entrepreneur. He has his own fragrance company. You can pick up fragrances from Fine Fragrance online. So check him out. Go pick up his book, and let's support. We need to support our own. And Felicia, she says that's so deep and explains that you sacrifice everything for your kids. So as a broke dad, your work's way more than a ton of gold. Yes, yes, absolutely. All right, it's time for another one.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Okay.
So,
We can follow.
okay.
We follow with this one. This is called child support. $350.66. Bonding, values, morals, participation, generational stability, history, culture, entrepreneurship, love, spirituality, leaving a legacy, priceless.
That's child support.
Yep.
I know that's right. That's child support. Instead of relying on child support by the government, or, you're supporting your children and leaving a legacy. And that's child support. That's
Right.
what child support is all about. Leaving a legacy for your children, supporting them in everything that they do, encouraging them throughout your life. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, the child support system is not an advocate for fathers. And all right, Felicia, Evitt says, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Amen. I learned that at my church. Absolutely, absolutely. Without doubt, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Absolutely. Okay, I want to hear something else.
Uh-oh. This is called Unidentified Angel. Sometimes I look inside my memory to remember those that died and what they meant to me, thinking how I took them for granted and wishing I could bring them back single handed. Everything has a purpose. I used to get scared when I felt spirits surface. Now I realize they assist in guiding me as long as I stay in tune. They will never die to me. It seems as if death is like the lottery. When your number pops up, it's time to say goodbye to me. This goes out to everyone who has or will lose a loved one as a reminder to love each and every day because you never know if it's your time to go. This is not intended to make one sad, but to make one glad you had a pleasure of meeting an unidentified angel amongst your path.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And there are angels among us. I don't care what anybody says. I remember when I was in Los Angeles and had gone on a job interview. I went on this interview with my back being out already. And I couldn't drive my car, so I took the bus to this job interview with a very bad back. And I get to this interview, and they want me, it's for school, and they want me to walk up all these stairs and all this stuff. And I did, cheesing with my briefcase and my purse and acting like nothing was wrong. I get out of this interview, turn the corner to get back on the bus, and collapsed.
Oh, wow.
On the street. And it was on Hollywood Boulevard. And on Hollywood Boulevard, people are laying out all the time. And so people were literally walking past me, walking over me. And this lady from out of nowhere, she came and she put her hands on her hips and she's like, "Child, what is wrong with you?" And I just started crying. It's like my back is out. This lady, she helped put me in her car and took me where I needed to go.
Wow.
And I never saw her again. I know that was an angel. But piggybacking off of what your poetry is saying, tell the people you love them every single day because life is very short. I've lost both my sisters and a niece, all of which, and my mother, all of which were younger than I am now. I thank God that He's allowed me to see 67 years. I thank God for that, but my sisters, my mother, my niece, all gone too soon. So I want to encourage my audience, you guys love on each other because life is short. It's too short. Tell the people you love them on a consistent base because you never know. And tell people you appreciate them, friends, family. Tell them how much you appreciate them and how much you're glad they're in your life. That is so important, so important. You got some good stuff, Johnny.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, it's time for you to share something else.
Uh-oh. Let's see what we got here.
And you know what? Let's see. Okay. Lenora says, angels are always with us and entertained, so we must be careful how we treat people. They are human like us. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you for that, Lenora. Thank you. You find something?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay, awesome. Here you go.
This is called Hospitality. I embrace my children's future like a scared mother protecting her son from the world. I see things only the year 3015 historians know. My inner zeal supersedes the cosmos, leaving shadows on Mars and surrounding stars. Knowledge and space are infinite. However, I count 9 planets every 2100 years. So by the time the year 4200 arrives, they shall see 18. Humans are more than 1 million years old. The feeling of control erases accurate history. Truth has no mystery. Language lacks a lot of untold viciously. Life and death is the mathematical equation to measure time. Since we try to measure time, we lose life. And since we lose life, we anticipate death. Before us is God. After us is God. There is no in between. There is only God.
Oh my.
Hospitality.
Oh my. Absolutely beautiful. And you're absolutely right. God is all there is. And when we recognize that He is all there is, and He's in us, He's in us.
Yeah.
So understanding that and recognizing that, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And go ahead, share something else.
What's it? Oh, there's gifts. Gifts are like animals. Each animal has some type of survival tactic. Birds have wings, lions have agility, elephants have strength. Each human was created with the same intent: find your gift and survive.
I want to talk about that. That's awesome. Now, Felicia says, okay, child support is more than just money. It's supporting them by being available, by interacting with them, showing your kids love while also investing in their future. They need 100% of you to show them what support means from you. And that is so true. That is so true. Truth, love is God all. Yes, what Felicia is saying. So let's talk about that for a minute, and then I want to come back to what you just wrote.
Okay.
Now, in your poem, you talked about child support and leaving that legacy. Are there times when you have felt that maybe you didn't put in the kind of time that was needed with your children as well?
Of course. On this, this fatherhood thing, you sacrifice time, you sacrifice a lot of money, you sacrifice, even time for yourself. So yeah, sometimes I have a lot of guilt of, not being around as much as I should. But then on the back end as well, I was one of those fathers that also had the time to be able to go to the school whenever they needed me to there. Be at I coached all three of my sons. I'm at all their games. So, it's just a sacrifice in the balance. I always wanted, I did it earlier on so I didn't have to sacrifice later. It was risky, but, hey, I had to take the risk.
And doing it at early on, like I love that, doing it
Right.
early on, that's when they need it most. That's when that support from a father, a stepfather, a mother, a stepmother, that's when those times are needed most, when they're young.
Yeah.
Be- because that's where you're molding them and shaping them and showing them the way, and your children will remember, daddy was there for me when I had my games. Daddy was there for me when I had a problem in school. They're going to remember that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, though, because I lost my mother as well. And it's like, you don't remember how much she spent. You remember the memories. Uh, you
Yes.
remember the time that's spent. You don't. So memories are everything.
Yes, precious memories. Absolutely. So make memories, people. Make memories. And Felicia says, you're an awesome father. You're molding them to do the same. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, 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 yes. Aren't
I
you glad you
appreciate it.
came on my show?
Of course, hey, I'm glad to be
This
here,
is so awesome.
man.
Now, your last poem, you talked about gifts.
Yes,
And, God has given each and every one of us gifts.
yes,
And the beauty of it is, a lot of times people want to compare their gifts or compare themselves, but God, He created all of us uniquely with gifts.
yep,
And I think about trees and I think about flowers, even butterflies, there are none out of all that are created, there are none that look the same.
right. That's awesome.
None that look the same. Out of all everything is individualized.
Yeah, that's the
And
master artist.
that's the master artist. Absolutely. And so given that this master artist created us, he created us. So, and he said, I knew you before you were born. And so he wouldn't create us and not instill in us the gifts and the talents and the abilities that we need to fulfill our purpose and to make a difference in people's lives. So let me ask you, as a young person, did you ever um, grope with what is my purpose or what should I be doing? Did you ever go through anything like that in your life?
Yeah. I mean, after you get a certain age, you always want to know, what I'm here for, what's my purpose, what's my destiny. Because sometimes you at a certain age, you just have that like, what am I supposed to do? That unfulfilled feeling. So when I had that, like you said, those angels come and then they offer those people that you need to know and need to see that's going to give you those answers. So I met this the guy named Terrence Shelton, and I went through a rites of passage class, and it basically showed me how to obtain my destiny, my purpose. And once I did that, actually, that's when I wrote the first book. And because it was just like, wow, when you know your destination, the journey is a lot more beautiful. So,
Yes. So how say we have some people here that have yet to identify their purpose or yet to identify their gifts, or they have them but they just kind of blow them off. Oh, that's nothing. What do you say to people?
uh, well, first, I mean, I give them the blunt truth. You will always be miserable if you don't make a living using your gifts. So because you
Say
use
that again. Say that again. Say that again.
you will always be miserable if you don't make a living using your gifts.
Oh
So
my God. That is profound. That is profound. And it's true.
yeah,
It's true because he also said that your gifts will make room for you.
yeah,
And so, what that means is your gifts, the gifts that God has given you, you're supposed to use them to not only benefit others, but to benefit yourself, in that your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will provide for you what it is that you need in your life,
yeah.
monetarily and all other ways as well. And it's so true. It is
Peace.
so true.
And not only that, it's that peace. A lot of people
Yes.
don't know what peace feel like, and that peace is, you get to age gracefully. You get to do a lot of things with that peace in your life.
And there's nothing like God's peace. Let me tell you, there's nothing like his peace, especially in the midst of a lot of confusion. You
Right.
can still get his peace in the midst of contention. All you got to do is say, Peace be still, and keep saying it over and over and over again,
Right.
and it will happen.
That's
Let's
the,
see, let's
that's
see what Felicia is saying here. She says, all gifts are special and we should nurture our gifts, even if you only have one. God don't make no junk. Each of us are precious in his eyes. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I there's a quote, and I've shared this quote before on my show, but what we're talking about really ties in with it.
Okay.
And it was written by James Mishner. And he says, the master in the art of living draws no distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his recreation, his love or his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence through whatever it is he's doing and leaves it to others to determine whether he's working or playing. To himself, he's always doing both. And that's a person that's living and working and using their gifts.
Yeah. Because it's like water. It goes with everything.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's hear another one. We got 10 minutes Time flew, didn't it?
It did. It did.
All right, let's hear. You know what? You were hesitant about doing that communication poem.
Uh huh.
I want to hear it.
Okay, let me see. Where is it at? Communication. I'm sorry. I gotta
That's
find.
okay. Well, while you're finding it, let's hear some of that music that you also produce.
Okay, give me 1 second. You got me multitasking.
Yes, it's like I'm asking you to do two or three things at one time. You can do it. You can do it.
Right. Oh, okay. Here we go. 24. Got to be aware of what your capabilities.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, here we go. Miscommunication. Let's do this first. All right, miscommunication. I saw a young boy about 8 years old watching fiends shoot up in basements, uncles smoking reefer, drinking 40s, labeled Old English. Pool sticks had English. In school, he barely knew his English. So of course, school wasn't interesting. The streets were full of grown people who thought like him while growing up. Now society identifies them as thugs. At age 12, he began to selling drugs and stealing bikes, clothes and GI Joes, exposed to smoking primos. 15 years old, doing time. His best friend is on the way to college, dreams of playing professional football, life on the line. They lived a couple of houses away from each other, even called each other brothers from different mothers. Both grew up in the gutter, dream chasing. Somewhere there must have been a miscommunication.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is, and and it's sad. I had a 10-year-old boy, and I've shared this before. A 10-year-old boy, because I work with kids and adults and parents and all of that.
Okay.
And I was at the school doing a training with third, fourth, and fifth graders. And this little 10-year-old, during the course of the session, little black boy, he said, I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror.
Oh wow.
That just tore me apart
Yeah.
because, and that what you just shared reminds me of that.
Mm.
That kid that was doing all the negative things because he wasn't that nurturing. Something was wrong. Something was wrong
Right.
to cause one to do well and the other to go the other way. And yet they were brothers from another mother,
Right.
living next door to each other. And that's, oh my God, that's just a sad, sad poem. But when you say miscommunications, let's delve more into that poem because you talk about miscommunication. So tell me more in terms of how you see that poem.
Well, I just see it as a miscommunication because these two kids come out and play, and then but when you go inside the home, you have different parenting. You have different parents and different parenting styles and different information that's being given to each child. So it's sad to see. You look at even when you go to school, you be like, man, how can we be so close? Or sometimes it could be even real blood brothers and sisters.
Oh,
We
yeah.
close, and then we be like night and day because like where the miscommunication come from? So it's just one of those things. Like, wow, how am I this way, and you're totally the opposite way, and just one of those things, man.
Right. And that's why what goes on in the home is so important. It's so important uh,
Yeah.
because we're molding young lives, we're changing lives. And so, parents that are listening, I want to encourage you to edify your children, lift up your children, compliment your children when they've done well, chastise them when they've done wrong, but remember to attack the behavior and not the child.
And then you
Just
also
because,
got You also got to know when you're doing wrong, though.
And yes,
Sometimes parents take it out on the children and don't understand, like, no, you need a lashing right now because you're not doing what you need to do as a parent.
yes, absolutely. But then again, we've got parents that don't know what to do.
This
We've
is
got parents, you can't teach what you don't know. You can't, you
that's
can't, you just can't. And so there are a lot of parents that grew up with that same kind of, it's like a cycle. They grew up with that same kind of negativity or toxicity, and it's all they know. you
right.
know so if that's all you know, then you need to call me. You need to call me so I can work with you and your parent and your work with you as parents,
Right.
because there's nothing like going into a house and feeling the love There's nothing like that, to walk into a house and all you feel is love.
Right.
That is so awesome. Well, listen, we've got a few more minutes. I have a little commercial that I'm going to run right quick, and then we'll come back, okay?
Okay.
All right, so. Visions and treasures can express what and how you feel about the ones you love and hold so very dear in memory and love. For Christmas, birthday, anniversary, or any special day, count on us to know the words to say. Special gift that will last a lifetime. I cannot express enough how the inspirational poems impacted my family. The poems brought to life my family's personal dreams and aspirations. My family was in awe when they received their very special gifts. You need to order yours today. Vision. To see the beauty expressed through you and me, the hopes, desires, and the dreams, the way we are, the way we were, the way God intended us to be. Our words of kindness, our actions and deeds, treasures from inside out. These are the things that we see and shows what our life is about. All right. Yeah, that's a promo of the poetry that I do for individuals, families. So you can check out Visions and Treasures Facebook page and look at some of the work. And if you're interested, then let me know, inbox me. And so, well, Johnny, it has been a pleasure. And do you have one more poem that you can take us out on? Let's see what someone is saying. Hey, Shamika. Okay. And let's
I'm not
see.
sure the little boss is here.
Oh, let me see him. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. She can't see me say hi. How old is she? She's the 1 year old?
Yes.
Oh, she is beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So my time has passed.
Yes, yes. Well, listen, I want you to, can you share one more poem though before you go?
Let's see. Let's go with Unstoppable Peace. I'm 2 months behind in bills. It feels as if excuse me. It feels as if financially I'm climbing hills. The opposite of a daughter, so I'm shining still. Frustration overcomes my desire. Depression, stress is out to kill me, my will, and my fire. The source within transcends my abilities to look within and find tranquility within me. Unstoppable peace.
Unstoppable what again?
Peace.
Unstoppable peace. I want you to, we're going to end on this note. What do you do to have that peace?
What I do to have that peace, basically, I have rituals that I do on a daily basis. And then, for one, health is the main thing. So you got to definitely eat right and make sure you take time out for yourself, keep your stress levels down. Work out, make sure you can do your daily activities, and make sure you find your peace places,
Yes. Now is
happy places, and just continue to live life and enjoy it. And most of it is perspective and mentality. So you know, you got to make sure that's always in place because it's a learned behavior. It ain't always somebody other.
absolutely. So is meditation a part of what you do?
Of course, we do, we
Yes.
do an hour before in the morning and do an hour in the evening. That's one things I do. So
That's awesome. And Felicia says, unstoppable peace. I definitely need to work towards that. Peace be still. Peace be still. I'm telling you, it works every time. And meditation, it definitely helps to calm your spirit. It really does. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure having you on my show.
thank you for having.
And I'm going to ask you not to leave yet, even though I'm going to take you off because we're going to end the broadcast. But don't leave because I want to talk to you for a minute. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this show. Please support this young man, Johnny Osby. He has his book. He shared so many poems from his book. Awesome. Awesome. They will uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire and educate you. So please go to Amazon.com and get his book. And also go to his fragrance page and purchase some of his fragrances. Find fragrances online. Well, listen, everybody, it's time for me to get up out of here. So thank you very much for being a part of my show today, and we'll see you next time. Oh, check out Clubhouse. We're going to be doing a Clubhouse show starting on Thursdays from 10 p.m. until midnight. This week, we're focused on the Power Up Conference. Thank you. God bless. Take care.
The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
All right.